Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today we are going to be working on a little sun catcher for our window. And I got these gorgeous cutters here and this silk screen. This is from the Create Along monthly box, and this is what I will be using. So the very first thing you want is your white Primo translucent clay. And I just rolled this out to my number 3 of my pasta machine, which is about the 4th thickest setting, because mine goes from 0 to 9. So put on your number 3, and we're going to cut out 4 squares. You do not need a lot of clay for this particular project. And actually, we're going to do 6, because we want to keep 2 plain. And then I have my alcohol ink. So I have a green, a turquoise, a purple, and then a pink. And I'm going to put some gloves on for this. And I'll start out with the lighter color first. I'm going to put 4 small drops. I don't want this very dark. I want this to be light so we have more of a chance for the sun to kind of beam through it. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of rub it on. And that'll kind of indicate how dark that my piece is going to be. So I just want to add a little bit more. And I'll take, and this one I want a lot lighter. And then go with that, and then I'll use my next one. Okay, once these completely dry, I'm going to run these through my pasta machine and blend them up real well. Okay, so I have everything rolled out and blended. I have this rolled out to my number 5 on my pasta machine. And the next thing I want to do is just start kind of tearing them up. So I want to space all my stuff out and make it a kind of a mosaic piece if possible. This way my color is spread out all over. So I'm just going to kind of tear my pieces up first, and then I'll place them all together. And I am not going to put a back on these because I really want my pieces to kind of have the light shine through them. So the thinner we have it, the better. And if we don't have a back on, you'll really be able to see the light through it a lot easier. And I believe I will only need 1 of my translucent pieces, because I have the feeling we're going to have more than enough here. And for the translucent, I want to keep that real small, just so I have little tiny pieces here and there. Okay, we'll start with that. So now I'm just going to kind of start building up. So I'm going to make sure that each piece kind of connects. So I'm going to layer it a little bit. And don't press it down so much that it's going to be hard for you to pull it up either. Because remember, this is a thin piece. And I only need my piece large enough to fit my birds here. Okay, so now I'm going to carefully lift this up. Take your flexible blade to do this. And then I am going to run this through my pasta machine 1 time to make sure that it's nice and set. Okay, so now I can see, let me put this on my other, let me see here. I'm actually going to set it on here so I can see where my little holes are. And then I can place a little bit more clay where my little openings are. All right, let me get my other paper. This is just deli paper. And now I'm gonna burnish it. Make sure everything is on there nicely. And this is thin. This is on a number 5. So this is my halfway point on my pasta machine. And I want it to be thin. So this way I know, like I said prior, my light will shine through this real nice. Okay, I'm going to just do a little bit right there. Okay. So now I want you to see how thin this actually is. So you're going to have to be very careful with this. You see how thin that is? So you're going to have to be real careful with this. So our next step is to put our silkscreen on. I want to make sure I have this, all the wings on there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put my black acrylic paint on here. And then go over the entire piece. Okay, carefully lift it up. Now go rinse out your silkscreen right away so it doesn't get destroyed. All right, so next we are going to take our X-Acto knife and we are just going to follow our line. And this is how we're going to cut our piece out. So just carefully follow it. And I want to keep my hummingbird's tail. So I will follow that. Okay. And I am going to put my hole in right away. And go straight down. Okay. Oops. Dropped my piece on there. Alrighty. I'm going to get my mat that I am going to bake this right on. And you want to, as careful as possible, take this off. I should have done this before. Okay, let me just... Okay, so now that I know this is on here, it's nice and flat, I am going to just take my little tool here and I'm going to just push my sides in and get everything nice and round it off. All right, look how beautiful that looks. And it's going to be so pretty when the sun shines right through it. I want to... I have a couple little dents in here. So I just want to make sure it's nice and smooth before I put it in the oven. And I'm barely touching it. I just want to make sure everything is really nice. Okay, so now I'm going to place this in my oven, 275 for a half hour. While that is in the oven, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to use my orange yellow alcohol ink. And this is going to be for my flower. Oops. Spread that over. I'm going to let that dry. And then I will run this through my pasta machine as well. And then we'll be able to cut out our flower. While that dries, let's get our white clay. So I have some of my scrap white clay here. You don't need anything special for this because we are going to use mica powder over it. And I'm going to run this through my pasta machine onto the third thickest setting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my saran wrap. Anytime I use detail cutters, I like to always use saran wrap. Let's lay that out. And you're going to want it to be thicker than normal to get all the detail there. Smooth it out. And look how pretty that is. Is that not a beautiful cutter? I love those imprints on there. All right, let me run this through. Okay, so this is actually on my second thickest setting. I actually had to add a little bit more translucent clay to give myself enough clay to make it that thick. And that would be our flower. So what I am going to do to give this a little bit more detail is I'm going to take the edge of my knife and I'm just going to press these in a little bit more. I really want that detail to show, but if I make it any thicker, it's not going to shine very well through. Now I'm just kind of outlining my areas here with my knife. And all this is going to do is just let me be able to see the detail a little bit more. So if I decide to put paint on this, if I want to do like white paint or something after it's baked, all that white paint will go into those areas. And then we'll be able to see it better. And my dotting tool. I'm going to take my pointy dotting tool here, and I am actually going to make little dots right in the middle here. I am really big on bringing out detail into all my pieces. So that's what that will look like. Let me get my mica powders. Okay, we're going to take our mica powders and I'm going to use all the beautiful summer colors here. Okay, I am going to put this on my tile so it stays put. And I'm going to start out with my lighter blue and my green. And then kind of go into my purples and darker blues. Let me start with the green. And this I'm going to be a little bit more careful with because I really want this to be detailed. So I'm basically going to paint my hummingbird with mica powder. So that's what I have. I'm going to make sure I have all my sides done. And because I am hanging this, I need to make sure that I'm going to get the back as well. So I want to carefully lift this up and then get my back. And this I'm just going to do a fun blend. Okay. So that'll be the back, and that is the front. I want to wipe this off. Okay. And this we're going to do after it's done being baked. I think I'm going to put white on it to make it pop through, but I may end up, I think I should add a little purple on the edges, but I'm hoping that it stays on after I put the white on it. But I'm going to add a little purple on my edges here. Okay, so now I'll place this in the oven for a half hour and then we'll come back and assemble everything. All right, guys, so here is the piece, and I want to show you how it's going to look underneath the light. So I'm actually going to bring this down, pull my light over here, just to kind of give you an idea how that's going to look when the sun shines through. So you see, by doing it thin, you could really see that light comes through it. And it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. So I'm super excited about how nice this came out. And because it's so thin, it's a little bit flexible. So you could keep it that way. I'm debating if I want to put a little bit of resin on one side just to give it that little bit of bubbled out look. Or if I just want to put my Super Sculpey on to protect the paint. So while my other pieces are in the oven curing, I'm going to make a decision on what I want to do with this next. All right, guys, all my pieces are out of the oven. They're completely cooled off. I showed you how beautiful this looks like in the underneath the light. I did decide I am going to actually just use my gloss glaze. And the reason for that is when you put UV resin on, you have to worry about it turning yellow. And I normally don't put any of my pieces in direct sun for long periods of a time. And because this is going to be hanging in my window, UV resin is not going to be a good idea. So I'm just going to use my gloss glaze. It'll give it a beautiful shine. And I'm going to do that on all my pieces. By putting the glaze on, you're protecting your paint and your mica powders. And it'll give it a nice shine on top of it. So let me just put a thin coat on. I'm only going to do it on this side. I did decide not to do the white paint on this. I really love the way that it came out just by itself. So that's one less step that you have to worry about doing. I think the mica powder just really made this piece come out nice. And look at this. This is so gorgeous. I love this. I'm going to make earrings or a pendant out of this, or out of the same technique that I just did here. I just absolutely love this hummingbird. So I have to absolutely 100% make a pair of earrings or a necklace out of this. I mean, even the back, just gorgeous. And you can see I'm just putting a thin coat on, and that will protect my piece. Let these completely dry, and then we're going to get, let me put this up here. I'm actually going to use some of these. They're like chandelier crystals, and these are perfect for our sun catchers. So I use these a lot with my sun catchers. And I am also going to add, let's add this one. This will look really pretty. So I'm going to add that at the bottom because that will look just beautiful. So let all this dry, and then we will start drilling our holes and assembling everything. All right, guys. So our next step is going to be putting holes into our pieces. So I want to hang mine right off of my wing, but I don't want to go too close to the edge because you don't want your wing snapping. Here, this is a wider wing. So if I hang it off of here, my bird will kind of go down like that. But I really want my bird to be up. So I'm actually going to take it and go, I'm going to say about that far down, because if it hangs up like that, I'm okay. I don't want it going down. I really want it to be more up. So I'm going to go right, I'm going to show you guys. Well, let me drill the hole, and then I'll show you exactly where I'm drilling. Okay, so right there, you can see. And these things are wide enough that I'll easily be able to put that on there. And then this one, or we also need one at the bottom to connect here. So let's see if it goes there. I'm going to go right at the bottom of the tail. And then I need 2 for my flower. And I go right in the middle. And go straight down. Okay. And then we just basically take these and start connecting them all together. So very, very easy. And these chandelier wires are so easy to open. So just like that. And I'm hoping that it gets sunnier out today. It's pretty cloudy today. I really want to be able to show you guys exactly what this looks like in the window. So I'm hoping it will get a little bit nicer. And I think I put that on wrong. I did. So you want to make sure your pieces are all facing the correct direction too when you're putting these on. All right, and there we go, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed creating this piece with me. If you did, remember to give Create Along a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. It helps get it out there, and check out their Create Along boxes. They're wonderful, and you can create so many things besides just this with this box. So have a nice day, guys. Bye.